Like the beginning of many other sections that we're going to be having around mortgage. So the month of January has been dedicated to talking about mortgage on our platform. Hopefully, thank you. Hopefully, we'll get to talk about other topics, as we move on. But mortgage is what we're dealing with in the month of January, and I'm going to start from the rough, estimate of what mortgage is all about. I'm sure because in foreign countries, in other countries outside Nigeria, a lot of people are used to mortgage. People are very familiar with the use of mortgage in order to secure, housing opportunities. However, I realized that African countries, especially in Nigeria, we are a bit slow to actually benefit from this advantage that mortgage, definitely will bring to people. So the problem of housing is actually a very key problem that we all need to resolve. And I know that if you are aware very well, you know that the population of Nigeria is on an increase. It keeps increasing. The world is increasing, which means that the more people keep increasing in population, the more the need for housing will always be there. So there will always be a need to resolve the problem of housing. I imagine, would there ever be a time whereby we have like sufficient supply of houses, where we just have houses lying and waiting for people to come and pick them up, once they start growing up, get married, and then the house is just waiting for them to pick them up. I doubt if that would ever be something that we would experience in the world. However, as the population keeps increasing, we have to always be looking for ways to resolve the problem of housing, especially because that's not the only problem that we have in the world. We have other problems, such as the problem of unemployment. We have the problem of people choosing urban areas, over the rural areas. We have problem of people earning low income earners, are saturating the country. We have people earning so minimal. We have people who are not even employed to be able to say they can actually own a place. And there was a research that I went through recently, and the research shows that over 98% of especially Lagosians, was a research by Violet Leave, are actually living in rented apartments. So if we have a population of over how many billions in Nigeria, and then they're telling us 98 percentage of those number of people are actually living in rented apartments, then we should all realize that this problem of housing is a big problem indeed and needs to be resolved. I really do not know if we have enough renters or enough developers who have been able to who rather can actually cover up with the problem. And that's why we have to look for other means of introducing things that can help resolve some of these problems faster. And one of the things that I have discovered is that we have a large percentage of people who dream to have a home. However, they either cannot be able to bring out the money they'll fund at once, or it's even difficult for them to be able to carry through the desire or the plan to actually own a home. So we have a large percentage of people who start up building a house and then they pack up the projects with uncompleted buildings here and there and all of that. And this is still a big problem to the housing industry, or to the opportunity of Nigerians having a home of their own. So I believe that mortgage is one of the solutions that, if explored very well, as it has been explored in other countries, and a lot of people are benefiting from it. I believe that mortgage is something that, if we can explore it to its full terms and to its full capacity, we will be able to at least resolve the problem of housing to a large extent in Africa, in Nigeria, and also in Africa as a large. So now, what is mortgage? We can say that mortgage is a loan that people get in order to be able to purchase a property or to purchase a house, and then they begin to pay off over a long tenure. They pay off gently. Sometimes we call it flexible payment, we call it easy payment, whatever you can call it. So and they pay off over a long tenure. So most times, most mortgage loaners give the space of 10 years, 30 years, but it all depends on the age of the person trying to secure the loan, and also the mortgage affordability. And what do I mean by mortgage affordability? So it means that because some of the criteria to be able to secure the loan is that you must be gainfully employed. So there are some people who probably their salary structure may not be able to consistently pay off the money on a monthly basis, or whatever structure that has been planned out. So if they cannot afford a particular amount, so the mortgage loaners will just tell them, okay, this is what we can give you, because this is what we know, that judging from everything we have been able to check in your assessments, that you can pay back. Because one of the dangerous things that I believe, maybe for I'm just asking in my head, that could be the challenge why people are not really, especially finance companies are not going into this kind of aspect of real estate, is because the fear of concern of people being able to pay back, especially because in Africa we have a larger percentage of unemployed people. So getting them to pay back the loan might be more difficult than in a well-structured environments such as other foreign countries, where you have a lot of people that you can actually monitor their financial lives. You can monitor the progress of their payments. So I believe that those are some of the challenges that some loan operators may be having. Now, mortgage interest, of course, when you get a mortgage loan, you expect that you are supposed to pay back with an interest, because anybody who borrows you money will definitely borrow you with the hope that they're going to be getting an interest from it. So the mortgage bank or the mortgage loaners are expecting an interest, because already they're giving you the access to the large sum of money at once. Purchase what you want to purchase, which is the house or property, and then you pay them back as easy as you want. So most times the interest could come up as high as 6% to 30%. It all depends on some of the accessibilities that we're going to be doing, which we call the affordability test. So we actually have a test that we run on people who want to secure mortgage, to be able to know their state or their stand as regards getting mortgage. So if you have any question that surrounds mortgage, please, by the way, while I'm just saying all of this, you can just drop off the question and attend to them. And if there's anyone that we're not supposed to treat this week, we'll most likely carry it over to the next week, because it's going to be a weekly live section where we talk about mortgage. By the grace of God, at the end of the month, I'm going to be bringing an expert that will be telling us that would delve intensely into the topic of mortgage, because I want to be able to help more Nigerians and Africans as a whole to be able to secure mortgage, to be able to understand better what mortgage is and how to be able to assess mortgage. Now, if we look at the system of Nigeria, you'll realize that mortgage is okay, maybe because I have been able to sum it up. Mortgage for me is the best solution we can begin to look at right now. Some developers have been able to at least bring in some solutions, and some of those solutions is flexible payments, especially for land purchase. So we have people who are paying gently for the parcel of land that they purchase. However, I realized that is not sufficient enough, and the reason why I said that, because I also sell land, so it's also something that I preach to people. But it's not sufficient enough in the sense that after you buy the land, a lot of people are now stuck with the land. Yes, it's even good investment, because you can always keep it for use, as many years as possible. But you still have people who have landed properties, and for many years they still cannot, build a place of their own. So I believe that mortgage should be able to cover that gap, that gap that is open, that our flexible payment structures that developers, our very good developers have brought into the system have not been able to cover. Mortgage should be able to balance things out for people, especially for people who have intention of building their whole place. And this is not for people who probably are trying to buy land for investment purpose. No, if you're trying to buy land and your plan is to use it for investment, of course, yes, you can keep your land for as many years as possible. But if your plan is to have your first home, and you have like a target, you have like a goal, and you've been trying to pull through and get that goal into realization or manifest, and it's not coming because you can hardly save. Considering even the current situation of the economy, you can hardly save, you can hardly even purchase things like cement. The value of all of these things have actually gone as high as possible. So when you start considering some of those things, it might be difficult for a lot of people to actually be able to build a place of their own. However, with the grace of mortgage, or with the introduction of mortgage into the system, I believe that people can actually just purchase a property and then they pay as easily as possible. Like I said, most mortgage loaners give you as the grace of 10 years to 30 years, but it all depends on your age, or the age that you actually were on the time that you secure the loan. So most times the current mortgage package that I am introducing to our clients, we allow the age range, or rather the age bracket. Imagine if you are 45 years of age already. Our age bracket for mortgage is between 21 to 60 rather. So you just have 15 years to be able to pay back your loan, which means you can either secure something very minimal, or you end up paying back a larger sum every month in order to be able to meet up with whatever it is that you are giving as the loan. So that's just the challenge of some of those things. So most times the advisable thing for anyone who wants to secure a mortgage, anyone who wants to take advantage of mortgage and get the advantage at the best rate is immediately you probably get married, or even before you get married, and you know that okay, you are an adult and you know that your desire is to own a place of your own within this space of time or at this particular age of yours. You can begin to make inquiries about mortgage, because that's just the best time. The best time is as early as possible, as young as possible, so that you can take advantage of the rates to the best.
Bringing the future to you now.